And we are live here at Fuji Speedway for the 2017 Formula Drift Japan Series Round 3. As you can see again, the weather has not changed from earlier today, and it has not changed from yesterday either. Once again, unfortunately, overcast conditions here at Fuji Speedway. Like I've been saying, normally we'd see a great view of the mountains there and Mount Fuji behind the grandstands just there along the main straight. But never mind that. As I said before as well, we're here to see grey clouds of a different kind, white clouds of a different kind. That is to say, pouring off the back of drift cars. So if you're just joining us now, if you weren't with us earlier today for the top 32, good morning. Actually, good afternoon. It's afternoon now, isn't it? It is 1:30 in the afternoon right now. Hello, my name is Alexi Smith from the YouTube channel Noriera. I'm here with pro driver from the USA FD Series, Ken Gushi.
Hello, everyone.
So good to have you with us here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you. It's been awesome to have you here as our judge, Ryan Lantane, walks through in the background, blowing the shot. So we are about to start the top 16 battles all the way through to the final here today. We ran the top 32 this morning, quite a few interesting little battles. Resulting in an interesting lineup. There's a few battles. I've just been looking at the sheet, the battle sheet for this afternoon. Some battles, for example, Yakoy versus Taguchi looks like to be a good one. Also, another David and Goliath battle between Andrew Gray and Ishikawa. That looks to be a good one.
I'm excited for Takahashi Kuniaki and Mad Mike. Both phenomenal chase drivers.
And just exciting solo drivers and exciting tandem drivers. So that's going to be a good one. So as you can see on the track right now, this is Fuji Speedway main course. As you can see right here, that's the start line. Right there, and in the background, the hot pit. So it's great to be on this track. Very, very high-level track, of course, Formula 1 Grand Prix track. I think they ran here until about 2008. The Japan Grand Prix?
Japanese Grand Prix.
Japanese Grand Prix, that's right, thank you. The Japanese Grand Prix was run here. It runs at Suzuka. What is it? It's at Suzuka Circuit now.
Yeah, but now they run WEC here, the 6 hours of Fuji.
Ah, that's right. And, of course, all the other Japanese series as well. The
Super GT.
Super GT. And many, many, many other series here too, like one-make races, for example. You know, little Honda N1 one-make races and things like that. So, always a lot of action here at Fuji Speedway. But of course, this weekend, Formula Drift, round 3, utilizing this section of the course. It's a long right-hand sweeper entry into a slightly uphill outer zone, left and right, and then a slight downhill. And then another left-hand sweeper. So a lot of places in this course to make mistakes, but on the other hand, also a lot of places on the course that can allow these drivers to show how well they can drive. It does slightly favor cars with higher horsepower, but of course, we have seen guys like, for example, Ishikawa in his little underpowered S14 make his way through. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think in all honesty, it's always good to have a little bit extra horsepower. Even on the tighter tracks, it makes for a much easier recovery. Okay, here come the top 16 drivers getting ready for their drivers' intros. There's Shinji Minoa in his 370Z, first place qualifier. And he'll be doing battle with Harino Jin in his S15.
So before that, we're going to be starting off with, of course, we do have always the opening ceremony before the top 16. And we do have the drivers lining up, but there will be a short ceremony before that. So you still have a little bit of time before these battles start. Of course, we have the drivers lining up, as you can see, coming out in the order in which they're going to battle. So you still do have a little bit of time if you want to go grab a drink or a snack. Or breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I don't know, whatever, depending on what part of the world you're watching from. time is it in the United States right now? Ken, you probably know.
Yep, in LA it would be currently 9:30 p.m.
Okay, so 9:30 p.m. So we still have a chance for our US viewers to catch up with us and hopefully be hanging around for the top 16. Well, it's Saturday night over there, so.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of our US-based fans are watching right now on the live stream. So hello to you guys.
Hello to you. So United States viewers, also probably a good time for people in Australia, New Zealand, and anywhere else in the similar sort of time zone, Russia and so forth. Not that great for people in Europe. It's probably about between 5:30, 6:30, 7:30 in the morning now. So just waking up first thing on Saturday morning. Well, it's Friday night in the United States, isn't it? It's yesterday night.
It is, yes.
Yeah. So have a big night in with us here on the live stream for Formula Drift. So yeah, if you're wondering, usually over here on the live stream on the Japanese version of Formula Drift, it's me and Ryan Sage. He couldn't make it out here this weekend. I'm pretty sure probably because he needs to get ready for the next, what's the next round of FD in the USA?
It'll be Seattle next weekend.
It's next, yeah, that's why, next weekend. So unfortunately Ryan couldn't make it over here as usual. So as a result, they sent over the ringer, Ken Gushi. Well, you don't have anything to do? Or?
Well, I'll be out there next weekend as well, but I'll be in the driver's seat instead of behind the screen with you guys out here.
So your team's back at home working hard on the car.
They are, yes.
And you're over here just chilling out at Fuji Speedway.
Yep.
Sounds good.
A much-needed time off.
Been a bit busy, have you?
Oh, yeah. A lot of traveling in the past couple of months.
Right. Well, of course, up to Canada for the last round of Formula Drift.
Yep.
We're just about to bring out all the drivers. You see them all lined up in battle order. So as you can see there, that's Shinji Minoa there in the 370Z Fair Lady. He's going to be the first car sent out. Of course, followed by Jin Harino.
Yeah, we have a lot of talent in this top 16.
And there's a lot of, there's sort of, I don't want to say gap in skill. That's sort of a bad way to put it. I have to say that there's a lot of varying styles of cars, of drivers, and indeed cars here in this lineup. So
yeah, in a good way.
It's not all just. It's not just. I mean, of course, we have the old, the good old 2JZ S15s and 2JZ Toyota sedans, but then again, we have SR20s out here as well. A lot of different kinds of cars, and of course, we still have 3 drivers from overseas as well. I believe we have
Nyan, Andy Gray, Chris the Jagger.
Yeah.
Mad Mike.
Mad Mike, so that's 4. So we have 4 drivers from overseas still in the top 16.
Well, I don't know if you can count Andrew Gray as an overseas driver since he does live in.
He does. He lives in Fukushima, literally 5 minutes from the entry. Not even that. Depends how fast you drive. 3 or 4 minutes. Let's say 5 from the entry of Ebisu Circuit.
Yeah, that's like his backyard.
It is. Yeah, what do you have to do when you want to test a car, Ken? You got to put it on a truck, you got to book a circuit, you got to drive it out somewhere.
Yeah, it's about a 2-hour drive.
2 hours. Andy can drive about 30 seconds out of his garage onto a track and give it a test. So great setup he's got up there at Ebisu Circuit. Of course, great facility. But I don't know, if you ever talk to the guy, I think you'd have to count him as an overseas driver because he's from Scotland and he talks like
and he's really hard to understand.
He's all right. Like, I think he sort of dumbs it down a bit, the accent for us, like Australians or everybody else. But yeah, when he gets a bit fired up or when he's talking to his wife Emily, who works with him, it can be a bit difficult to understand him sometimes. So lining up on the track now, bits being sent out. So you can see this is the course that we're using today. Speaking of Andrew Gray, there he is. So the 3, 2, 1, you can just see that in the foreground, that cone on the white strip. That is the final entry position or entry point. Comes Nyan parking up. Just next to Saito's S15. Sorry, Harino's. That's Harino. Sorry, I got it wrong. Harino's S15. That's Saitto there, he's 180 SX. So red, grey, and black.
You see Nyan's
Literally,
race suit?
No, what's he done to it?
On the back of his race suit, he has his signature red backpack. And when he's off track, he's always carrying a backpack
Oh,
with him.
yeah.
And I guess he
really
had that printed on the back of his race suit, which is pretty characteristic of Nyan. He's actually a really good BMX rider, if you didn't know.
I did. Surprises never end with Nyan. He's a BMX rider, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
He's not pro, but he's very talented on two wheels.
So Nyan from Singapore. We did have other drivers out here this weekend. Of course, James Tang and Hubert Lee from Hong Kong. Unfortunately, both of them getting knocked out in the top 32.
Yeah, Hubert Lee had a massive crash in practice as he was transitioning from Outer Zone 1 to Outer Zone 2.
Yes, it was a big unfortunately not enough parts or time to fix his car to make it out to the top 32 and retiring, allowing Takahashi in the yellow Mark X through to the top 32. There. I was about to hope that we could see his backpack on.
You can see it from here.
Where is he? Oh, there he is.
Right there. He's a third car.
Oh, I can see it. I can see it from here. Yeah. See a field of drivers. I think the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars are literally all grey, black, white, and red lined up. And then after that, it's like a bag of Skittles.
It's like a rainbow.
It is.
Blue, green, orange.
Oh, you know, you get Kuni's car, put it next to Andy's. Then we got, red, orange, yellow, green, blue. If Yakoy was still driving a purple car,
we would have the entire spectrum.
We could have it, yeah, we could have a complete rainbow. And then we have like light yellow, dark yellow with Kuni's car and Taguchi's car. All right, I'm just going to quickly Instagram out that we're live. I didn't get to do it before we started.
If you guys are watching us and joining us, thank you. I'm sure a lot of you guys have things planned out for a Friday night or a Saturday morning. We are extremely fortunate to have you guys.
I mean, I do know that I get a lot of snaps from people, like Snapchats from people working on their car in the garage while watching.
Right, they're listening to the commentating.
They'll wrench on something and then when battle's starting, they'll look up and watch it. And then that's a good way to do it. So here we go. We're about to start the opening ceremony. Our commentator over on the Japanese side, Cyber, is announcing here live for the crowd. Here you can see the full lineup in the top 16. Okay, so we're about to have the national anthem of Japan.
Thank you. Please have a seat.
Mike's not in the right place. There we go. All right, we're back. We're about to start the top 16 here at Fuji Speedway for Formula Drift Japan. Our first driver,
Shinji
Minoa in the Z34 Fairlady Z. It's a VQ powered car, this one, I believe, twin turbo VQ.
Yeah, one of the oldest old school drivers in drifting today from Heyman.
Definitely. Our next driver, Jin Harino, a pro, as you can probably tell by the sunglasses and the immaculate race suit. Jin Harino, pro racing driver out here today in the top 16.
And then we got Nyan from Singapore in his JCX 100 out with the Power Vehicles team. And then we got car number 328, Shinichiro Saito, the Car Guy Racing S15. Actually, he's in a 180.
Yeah, I keep
It's a
getting
180
it.
SX.
Yeah, it's a 180 SX. That's their Formula Drift girl Ayapon in the background. Next driver, we have Andrew Gray representing Scotland via Japan. Car number 100, last year's overall champion. Looking forward to seeing what he can do today. Car's in good condition, driver's in good condition. His first battle, he's up against this guy here. Look at that face, look at that confidence, look at that lack of confidence, I don't know what it is. Junya Ishikawa, S14 Sylvia. This is going to be a real David and Goliath battle between Andrew and Junya. Looking forward to that one.
Okay, then we have another big body Toyota JCX 100 Mark II. This is Takahashi Kazumi, car number 360. And TMS with Team Mori. A lot of these cars out here this weekend. Following another JZX 100, Krista Jagger with Thrash Kings. He's an Australian boy?
He's Australian. He's from Australia, Krista Jagger. Looking forward to seeing it's the first time he's made it this far in the competition. Next driver now we have Yoshika Tamagawa, also doing really well this weekend. JZ80 Supra, great driving from him. And also we have here Tadahiro Fukata, involved in Formula Drift Japan since round one of the first event, first year of the series. Looking forward to seeing what he can do with his JZX 100 Mark II.
Yeah, now these next two drivers, I'm really looking forward to seeing him battle. Takahashi Kuniaki in his GRX 130 Mark X, which is powered by a 2JZ, and his Goodyear Racing Team Kuniz Mark X.
Another old school driver.
Another old school driver.
Yeah.
And then we have Mad Mike Wadette from New Zealand and his Team Magic with Red Bull RX-7. Really strong chase driver. Saw a lot of action from him, going from outer zone 1 to 2 with the snappy transitions.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing Mike's chase runs here today at Fuji Speedway. Speaking of chase runs, hashtag Yakoy hype. Really looking forward to seeing Masashi Yakoy driving his D-Max S15 Sylvia. He'll be going up against another very aggressive S15 driver. We have Kazuya Taguchi, Team Up Garage S15 Sylvia, powered by an SR20 engine.
Okay, now we're going to our last two drivers. We have Yamashta Koichi, the JZX 100 Mark II, with Team Work and Weld. Another member of the Running Free family.
Another super OG driver, this guy here.
The last driver we have is Iizuka Kazuya with an S15 Helios Racing. So these two drivers will be our last battle in the top 16, which rounds up our very talented field of 16 drivers.
Yeah, looking forward to it. We're going to be running this top 16 all the way through to the final. So if you're just joining us now, we have an entire top 16 bracket to go through all the way to the final here at Fuji Speedway for round 3 of the 2017 Formula Drift Japan Series. Great location for it here at Fuji Speedway, one of the premier racing circuits all around the world. Of course, probably one of the most famous in Japan. Using the layout, as you can see here. Plenty of opportunity to put out lots of speed, lots of smoke, lots of angle, especially between outer zone 1 and 2. The transitions there, when they get it right, oh man, it's so good to see.
Yeah, that's like the showcase area where you want to show off your skills.
Yeah.
With the snappy transitions from outer zone 1 to 2.
It's that real. What's that? Oh, our Our judges are, I don't know if they're Snapchatting or something. What are they doing right now? What are you sending that out to? What's that video for? Instagram? Oh, Instagram story. Okay. Follow. You can follow our judges on their Instagram stories too. So it's the sound of straight sixes, V6s, rotaries, 4 cylinders, fills the air.
But no V8s.
Not a V8 to be seen.
Which is extremely odd for me. I come from a land of V8s.
Yeah, from the, V8 is life, V8 is love. Here in Japan, it's the straight 6 is king. So, you know, it's great to have variation from all around the world. Unfortunately, they haven't invented, you know, a instantaneous warp transporter yet, have they, where we can easily and, you know, within budget transport these cars all around the world to compete against each other.
Yeah, it gets really expensive when you try to ship a field of 40 cars across the globe.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, it'd be nice to have one car here, one car there, all built to spec.
As Mad Mike chucks some skids. Got to get the smoke out. Mad Mike, the only one to do that's a little bit of crowd appeal here. Cheer to him.
There we see these drivers scrubbing their front tires, trying to put some heat into them. And heat in the front tires are going to be extremely crucial, especially since the first corner is a fast right-hand sweeper.
Yeah.
And if you have cold tires there, you're more prone to understeer on initiation, which we have seen in past battles and practice sessions. So,
yeah, well, understeer there can prevent you from getting the rear of the car out, which means you're going to go wider, right? And then when you try and switch back the other way, the response of the car is going to be slow. So you're probably either going to go over the zebra strip and maybe hit the wall, or you're just going to wash out wide, right?
Right. Not only that, but if you're pushing through, you know, turn 1 or the approach into outer zone 1, and you're pushing the whole way or understeering the whole way, and it's pretty much impossible to rotate the car at that point unless you lift, slow down, reset, and initiate once again. But at that point, it's going to be a zero. So,
I mean, we saw earlier in the last battle of the top 32, we saw Kazui Iizuka take a quick stab at the e-brake, right?
Right.
In that situation, that strat worked for him, didn't it? But
yeah, but at that point, he was already counter-steering in the proper direction. I just think he was trying to adjust his line for a brief moment, which worked for him in the end.
Luckily,
he did win that battle.
Luckily, it worked for him. Right, so we are moments away from starting the top 16. So it's your last chance for a little bathroom break. Then again, if you're watching this live on your phone, you don't have to worry about that. Maybe you're at work and you've got the phone on your knee under your desk.
I have done that.
You have done that? I'm sure you have. I think we've all done that, to be honest. Because then you can just, like, if it's on your knee, right, then you can just, like, slide forward so you can't see it if your boss walks past.
Or maybe some of you guys are in school. Actually, not school, huh? It's a Saturday.
It would be, but it's Friday. But it's Friday night in the States, so yeah, maybe.
Well, no, I don't think people have class at night.
I mean, if we have, I know we have dudes who, like, you know, for example, work like, you know, night security, like security jobs, or
that's the perfect situation.
Factory, like
perfect setting.
I know in Australia we have a lot of dudes who like are fly-in, fly-out workers who are involved in drifting. You know, they make their cash out in the mines, then fly back in, do some drifting when they're time off, and then head back out. And I get a lot of stats from dudes on site.
See there we see Shinji pulling up to the line. in his 370Z.
Lining up here after warming up his tyres. Of course, Shinji, if you ever heard of Heyman, that's Shinji's old drift team. I believe that one of our judges, Robbie Nishida, used to be, was he a part of Heyman? He was,
He's
wasn't he?
still representing Heyman.
Still represents Heyman.
Yep.
So here we go. About to begin Formula Drift Japan Best 16. I believe that the story behind the team name Heyman is that Shinji and most of those other guys were, a lot of the guys in the team were from Yokota Air Force Base, the US military air base in Tokyo.
Yeah, Shinji wasn't though.
Shinji wasn't.
Shinji's one of the only outsiders
I see.
of the Heyman team.
So a lot of them were actually servicemen.
Robbie,
Like a lot of, half the guys were like servicemen, weren't they?
Yeah.
And that was the typical
that was the
greeting, the aisatsu, the greeting between them is, hey man. So the team became Team Hey Man. Look at this, like that's so typical of like a racing driver, isn't it? Just taking that very, clean, methodical approach to, well, you know what I mean? Like it's not
Right, it
like
was
he's not
clean,
just there
but he
chucking ringies,
He did go off course.
But he went off track though.
Right, it's funny that you say that. I mean, we do scrub our front tires. I mean, like I said earlier, it's extremely crucial.
I will say though that some of the, like when I watched the live stream, some of the guys in the States, they've got it like an art. Like
Oh, yeah.
the front tires at the perfect slip angle, like understeering around, and yeah, I guess because if you're going to be warming up at places like Long Beach, you don't really have space to
Right.
swing it around, do you? If any of you have like a dad or something who's like, drifting, that's not real racing, learn him, all right? This is the highest skill driver you're going to see in the world, I guarantee it. Here we go, first battle now, Minoa versus Harino. Look at this lead run from Shinji. Watch transition here. Nice, but Harino right there with him. This is a great chase run too from Harino. But of course the lead run, that awesome lead run from Minoa, giving Harino a chance to get right in there.
Yeah, let's watch the replay here.
Watch the replay.
That lead run from Shinji was almost flawless, I gotta say. I mean, we've seen snappier transitions from him, but he had a super early initiation way before the third marker.
Look at
Right out to the outer zone 1 transition, filling in outer zone 2, getting to inside clip number 1, then to the outer zone, passing the finish line. But Harino was right there. Maybe the gap could have been a little closer now that we're in the top 16. But nonetheless, no mistakes from either drivers.
Yeah, that's going to be a high score to both the drivers. When I say high score, like...
But that was a phenomenal lead run.
Yeah,
by Shinji.
that lead run by Shinji there. Yeah, that entry, we haven't seen many people so far get on the gas that early, get the car sliding that early, and with that amount of smoke pouring off the back. Is that his black line right there?
Yep, that's
you can see how early he started. They're right there in the middle of the screen, just where Harino's driving down. Those two twin black lines, that's actually Shinji's marks. Amazing run by him. So Shinji just swinging it around. Unfortunately, earlier today, Shinji's wife, who made it through to the top 32, Masayo, getting knocked out. But it's a great run. So I don't want to give it. I don't want to jinx it, give the commentators curse. But it's been a great weekend so far for the Minoa family.
Yep, and then we got his 7-year-old son Hiro watching.
He's just sitting down there in his snap-on overalls. Hiro's looking pretty happy too, isn't he? He's got his phone out, filming.
Yep. Jin Harino's actually been doing pretty good too in his runs up front, as we saw earlier in his battle in the top 32 against Shinozaki.
Yeah, Harino's car setup. This car setup is fairly heavily balanced towards grip and speed. So it's a bit more of a knife edge, this car. When he gets it right, he really gets it right, but we have seen him make big mistakes before. Right, here we go. Next run now. This time Harino in the S15 on the left of screen will be leading Minoa, possibly with a slight advantage. Following again, once really early entry from Harino. This is a great run. Big angle from Minoa in the follow. Here they come. Watch the flick back here. Oh, a bit of a handbrake extension there from Harino. Minoa right on his door to the third outer zone. Minoa not backing off at all.
No, that was a strong run from both drivers.
Starting with a bang in the top 16, this run here between Minoa and Harino. Let's watch this again.
But we did see some mistake from Harino from inside clip number 1 to outer zone 3. It seemed like he was having a hard time getting back on a power. But if we take a look here, so there's a little bit of a gap between the two drivers, but as soon as we get to outer zone 2, Shinji closes the gap. But we did see Harino leave outer zone 2 a little early and struggle to get back on a power as he was approaching outer zone 3, and that's where Shinji closed the door, or closed the gap. He got right to his door. And like you said, he was unfazed.
Did I say that?
By the lack of acceleration, so didn't hold back at all. I'm going to say Shinji had the more.
I'm going to have to say, and I think you're right, it's slugged to right of screen.
hand.
1, 2, 3 in favor of Shinji Minoa. So a really great effort from Jin Harino. That's a shame. That was a high-level tandem battle there. But the winner is Shinji Minoa. Will be moving on to the Great 8. And we're only in the top. We're only the first battle of the top 16.
Oh, and we started off that battle with a bang.
We did.
That was a good battle.
That was a good battle. That was a good, clean, strong battle.
Yeah, very nice effort from Harino.
Showing a lot of skill from both those drivers. Yeah, just that bit of a mistake there from Harino. Leaving the outer zone, as Ken said, too early. Having to slow down, slam on the handbrake to make that inner clip. But Shinji spotting that opportunity to tuck in there. So Shinji read that situation very well and definitely outplayed Harino.
Our next battle up, we have Saitto Shinichiro and Nyan. Nyan from Singapore in his JZX 100 Chaser, built by Andy Gray.
Yeah, built.
Vehicles.
That's right. Built at Andy Gray's workshop up in Fukushima. Andy's workshop, building a lot of cars recently.
And we have the Car Guy Racing 180SX.
That's right, with the 2JZ Borg Warner setup on that. Very popular setup recently over here in Japan. There's quite a few cars running this right now. Unfortunately, with the design of the turbo, it means it has to sit very high and very far forward. So we usually get, as you can see, it's sticking out of the bonnet there, or the hood.
The bonnet.
Bonnet. I'm from Australia. We say bonnet and windscreen and boot instead of trunk. All right, here we go. Cheng Nian leading this run. Shinichiro Saito following. Okay, it's looking good so far. Saito really needed to initiate earlier than that, I think. Way offline. Shinichiro Saito off track. Nian finishing the run, dropping a bit of a wheel off, but that should be okay.
Yeah, if you take a look at the replay, we'll see that Saito failed to initiate, actually. He was understeering the whole way through.
Is this what we were talking about before, about understeering on the
And I'm pretty sure it's got to do something with either cold fronts or a lack of grip up front, or too much grip in the rear. We'll take a look here. As soon as Nian initiates, we see that Saito is not drifting. He tries to initiate. There, he's pushing through all the way to outer zone 1. Then he finally initiates, or re-initiates towards outer zone 2, but washes way wide and goes off course. So huge advantage to Nyan on this run.
So luckily on that part of the track, Saito, nothing for him to hit. You can see huge understeer from the front wheels. You can see the...
and he reinitiates and goes way off.
And he was just trying to keep his speed up, unfortunately. It was really easy to see with the chrome lip of the wheel what kind of angle it was at. Understeering, and going off track. So that's going to be a massive disadvantage to Saito as they rotate back around to the start line.
Okay, now this is where Nyan has to stay somewhat level-headed because it's always his chase where he gets...
Where he trips up.
Yeah, he just
gets that
red switch.
The red mist. The old red mist drops down and... yeah,
just goes into an absolute war mode.
Who is his spotter? Do you know? Is it Emily or?
You know, I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Emily.
Hang on, I'm just going to ask. Is it? Is it Emily, his spotter? It is. Okay, so Emily Gray, the wife of Andrew Gray, who's out there right now, taking care of spotting duties for Nyan. I'm not sure if anything she'd say is going to have much of an effect on him, though, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That guy just goes bonkers.
He does.
When he sees a car in front of him. Doesn't appear to look that way, though.
No, you would never guess it to look at him. I mean, that's what makes drifting cool. It's like, if other sports, you look at like football, it's like, oh, he's a football player. But you look at drifting and it's like, really? But that's, the results are self-evident here now. It's just to keep this run clean. Nian actually doing a pretty good job of it right now. He's got to get on the gas, keep it out wide as he disappears in a cloud of smoke behind.
Yeah, that was a very,
Saitto.
very textbook run from Nian in the chase position, and a solid run from Saitto up front.
It was a good, we're seeing some good runs in this top 16.
Yep, and that's exactly what Nian had to do, was just keep it clean, stay close in proximity, don't let him get too far ahead.
That was an aggressive
Yeah, and
entry there,
he even followed Saito's line from outer zone 1 to 2, filling all the zones, hitting the inside clip, and then tucking right behind by the finish line. So I think it's easy to say, or safe to say, that Nian's going to take this battle going into the top 8.
Slide them right, boys. 1, 2, 3 for our 3 judges. Robbie Nishida, Ryan Lantane, and Andy Yen, respectively, from top to bottom. That's what those letters mean.
All right, so we got
Nian,
2 drivers. In the
Grade
top
8. Grade 8 for Sheng Nian. So another sort of unfortunate knockout there. Great runs from Saito, apart from that spin, of course, but his second run was quite good. So Nian moving forward to the grade 8. All right, here we go. Is our next battle now. David on the left, Goliath on the right. Andrew Gray, the monster, 3.4 litre Tomei 2JZ. Ishikawa on the left. I think it's actually still an SR20. So we'll see what he can do. So if you like cheering for the underdog, he's on the left, on the right of screen right now. Yeah, it's pretty obvious the gap in horsepower right here. Still a great run so far for Ishikawa.
Oh,
but,
no!
Andrew Gray! Almost a spin there for Andrew Gray. Did he just save that? Wow, that could have been really bad there for Andrew Gray.
Yeah, he had a really timid approach going into outer zone 2 and almost spun, or it was almost a half spin, entirely missing inside clip number 1. So we'll take a look here on the replay. He smokes Ishikawa, though, on entry, creating a big gap, really aggressive towards outer zone 1, and a timid transition. And almost spins, entirely missing inside clip number 1.
Man, if Ishikawa was able to keep up, though, on that run, on that entry.
That on the entry, if he had kept up, but that would have been a hard act to follow if he had followed him through the half spin.
You're right.
But if we were to compare lead to lead and chase to chase, we'll have to see what happens in this next run, where the roles are reversed, and see how Ishikawa does in his lead and how Andrew does on his chase. I'm sure Andy's not going to give him any space while chasing Ishikawa. However, we are judging lead to lead and chase to chase.
Right, so remember, if you're judging along at home with us, you have to keep that in mind. The runs are not, they're not, no man is an island, as they say. No run is a solo. You need to consider both lead, both chase runs. Of course, it's that whole issue of sometimes, like, you'll see a car doing a great chase run, and you think, well, he's won that. But it's the fact that the lead car is doing a run that allows the following car to do a good chase run. That is part of the whole judging.
Right, as we say, a chaseable lead.
That's it, there you go. Right, here we go. Now, this is going to be interesting. Andrew Gray. People are always talking about following slower cars with a faster car. This is what Andrew Gray has to do here right now. What's he going to do? So he's already initiated, so he's all right so far. Ishikawa. Watch the flick back here. Ishikawa on full throttle. Andrew Gray just needs to keep it. Keep it on. Keep it on. Andrew Gray at full angle. He had to cut in the line a little bit there.
Yeah, very nice chase from Andrew Gray. In fact, we did see Ishikawa slightly miss inside clip number 1. So
yeah,
going back to Andy's lead run, I mean, they might dock points off of both drivers in that area or that sector from outer zone 2 to inside clip number 1. But if we were to compare chase to chase, I mean, it's pretty obvious Andy had the upper hand.
Yeah.
in this battle.
So nice chest run. So Andy right now is going, go.
Like you said earlier, it is tough following a
Lower horsepower
for lack of
car.
better terms, yeah, lower horsepower or slower vehicle up ahead. I mean, you're massaging the clutch, half clutching, a lot of e-brake, left foot braking, whatever you can use to reduce the acceleration momentum or the forward momentum speed.
So slide them right, boys. 1, 2, 3 in favor of Andrew Gray. I think it was a fairly obvious result, but great fought battle for Junya Ishikawa. He's going to be happy about that, even though he lost, I'd say. Yeah, that is a technique that many people might not be familiar with. A high-level drifting technique, the using the clutch as a form of traction control, right? In Japan, they call it hankura,
Right.
half clutching.
Half clutching.
Half clutching. If you ever see, like, it's a rally driving technique too. A lot of rally drivers use it to keep the car on boost in a corner. But in the case of drifting, it's used as sort of traction control, slowing the car down while keeping the revs up. All right, next battle now. Takahashi versus De Jager. Australian De Jager in the background. Reinitiation there for Takahashi. It's going to be interesting. Fair way offline there, Takahashi. De Jager right there, matching Takahashi's line. This is a good chance, De Jager to catch up, but De Jager falling behind slightly, not capitalizing on Takahashi's mistake in the lead run there.
Yeah, I feel
that
like
lead run there was not that great from Takahashi. It was a good run, but there were a lot of mistakes there, weren't there?
it wasn't bad. The one obvious mistake is right here on entry. He kicks it out and then straightens up and it reinitiates at the 3 marker, but does bring it out fairly. Well, I mean, I guess he did miss outer zone 1 by
that line there of Chris, chase run perfect there, but
then Chris washes it right here and falls into the smoke screen of Takahashi. So not the best runs from either driver. Thrash Kings.
Thrash Kings, I believe, is sort of a collective of extreme sports. I think mostly drift drivers that Chris has put together, mostly because it's very difficult. These days, social media is very important to the drifting world.
Absolutely.
And a lot of course, the bigger guys have, they can have, their own cameramen and, things like that. But the smaller, the drivers who are coming up, not necessarily having the facilities to do that. Thrash Kings is sort of a collective where, various drift drivers can put their media together and sort of pool their resources to gain more attention. So that's the idea of Chris and some other people. You can check them out on Facebook, Thrash Kings. All right, second run now. Chris De Jager in the lead here, initiating. Takahashi also initiating very late, but still okay. So Chris, very technical driver. He's going to hit these points. There you go, line. Good line between those. Missing that. Once again, sort of washing wide, missing the in clip. Takahashi just keeping Chris De Jager just past arm's length for that entire run.
If you take a look at the replay, it just looks like Chris is struggling from outer zone 1 to inside clip, and we saw in his chase position too. He washed from outer zone 1 and went a little wide behind Takahashi. Now we see that the roles have switched. He's in the lead position, does end up filling outer zone 1 properly, gets to outer zone 2, but washes wide and sort of misses inside clip number 1, allowing Takahashi to close the door, going towards outer zone 3 to the finish line. So if I were to compare chase to chase, I would give it to Takahashi.
Definitely.
But yeah, there were a few points where Takahashi did make a few mistakes in his lead, as to where Chris also made some mistakes on his lead.
So this may be this will be. I think that they're going to get a decision from this. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's going to be one more time.
I don't think so either, and I do have a
winner
in my mind.
Yeah, me too. But I think it's going to. I mean, it will be a result from that battle. I'm pretty sure, but it's going to be very close. That's definitely not a one more time. They should be able to make a decision from that.
But who knows? We aren't the judges.
We're just here.
Years of experience over us.
They do. I mean, it's easy to sort of criticize, but any controversial run that you've ever seen, they've gone over that a million more times. There we go, one more time. Chris De Jager. Is this going to be a split decision? Oh, we have it. Okay.
Wow, okay.
One more time between Chris De Jager and Kazumi Takahashi. So obviously the judges thought that the mistakes on those runs were
I actually
balanced each other out.
I actually thought Takahashi was going to.
I was going to give it like a 0.1% in favor of Takahashi. I would have decided that from that battle. But, I mean, you know, like we pointed out in our commentary just before, there were mistakes from both of them in sort of critical areas. So we will be running that run one more time. So luckily for the Jagger.
Right, I guess Chris had a slightly more aggressive chase, although he made a critical mistake following, going wide inside clip number 1. But we'll have to revisit that battle after this one. Now moving on to the second half of the 16.
Our next two drivers, Tamagawa in the Supra, Fukata in the JZX 100 Mark II. Fukata's been doing some great runs this week, and this car really suited to the flowing layout. What's the transition here? Well, very late there for Tamagawa, washing very wide. Fukata in the chase. Much better line for the chase car, Fukata. Yeah, Tamagawa.
Right, Tamagawa.
His transition there was very late between outer zone 1 and 2.
Yeah, not only that, but if we watch this replay, he fails to get the car all the way out to outer zone 1. So he's a little shy off of outer zone 1 right there, and he's almost straight at that point. Gets outer zone 2, but washes way wide on the inside clip as to where Fukata gets the inside clip. But
yeah,
I mean, the whole point of Tandem is to take your car where the lead car goes. I mean, obviously that wasn't a close enough proximity to where Fukata could have passed on the inside clip, but
so Fukata with a chance here. So Tamagawa sort of wondering whether his awesome qualifying run yesterday was just a bit lucky or whether he can repeat that performance. Of course, he didn't manage to do that just then in the chase position. In the lead position. He'll be in the chase position this time around with Fukata in the lead. So Fukata really needs to concentrate on his line. That's what's going to give him the advantage.
Right, it's the line from the initiation to outer zone 1 is where a lot of these drivers are missing. They're coming way short on outer zone 1. And most of these guys are filling outer zone 2. It's just the approach to outer zone 1. So if Fukata can do that, I'm sure he'll have the upper hand in the lead runs. But he was a little far off of Tamagawa in his chase. So we'll see how Tamagawa does behind Fukata, and we'll see if Fukata can fill outer zone 1.
All right, Fukata initiating. Tamagawa also initiating. Tamagawa nice and wide. Watch transition here. Tamagawa's line, nice. He tucks it in up against Fukata, but Fukata pulls ahead. Tamagawa falling back slightly.
Yeah, the second half of the run, Tamagawa got really close to...
that was a really gutsy transition. He really, really trusted the lead car and also his skill there
right,
to
the
bring it around.
initiation looked funky, though. He was almost right behind Fukata on initiation.
It was very late, wasn't it? All
Right,
the way over to the left side of the track. Watch the
Take a
replay.
look here. So he's almost at the rear bumper of Fukata. And then transitions before Fukata.
You know what it is?
To get right behind.
Right there, Tamagawa, it's like he's not drifting with Fukata. It's like he's
Right. But
he's
in
just
all
waiting.
honesty,
Yeah,
in all honesty, though, Tamagawa had the better line behind Fukata.
that is true. Yeah,
But obviously, this is a tandem battle.
but you're supposed to. But you're supposed to be chasing the car in
Right,
front,
right.
So even if your line as a chase car is better than the one in front, if you're not mimicking the lead car, I mean, the run in front, Fukata's line was not horrible. Like, he was on line, just a bit, I mean, you know what I'm trying to say?
Right, but if it was a solo run to a solo run, I think
Tamagawa would have got that.
Tamagawa would have got the
Yeah.
line points. But then again, this is a tandem battle. And as I said earlier, the second half of the run was an extremely well chase run from Tamagawa.
That's right.
Especially from the transition to outer zone 2 and then to inside clip and then through outer zone 3, even past the finish line. That's where Fukata was a little behind.
Hesitant. Oh, well, he just wasn't. He was sort of almost,
Right.
Yeah, it was like out of punching distance.
Right
in
now,
a sense.
but see, again, we have to compare the lead to lead and chase to chase. So when it comes to the lead runs, I think Fukata had the better lead. But in the chase,
Right, so the judges have put in
Tamagawa.
a decision. I can see. Yeah, here comes the graphic. One more time. One in favor of Fukata in the blue JZX, and another one more time. So, a very, very close decision there. Fukata and Tamagawa are going to be running one more time. So Tamagawa and Fukata will be running them after the second one more time between Takahashi and the Jagger. But before that, now here's one of the most interesting battles on the top 16 lineup. We have on the right of screen Kuniaki Takahashi in his Mark X versus Mad Mike Wedette in his quad rotor RX-7 on the left of screen. Now both of these guys, great chase drivers.
And very aggressive lead drivers as well.
And both very aggressive lead drivers too. All right, here we go. This is going to be an interesting battle. Straight six versus quad rotor turbo. So Mad Mike initiating very early. Kuniaki at angle. Here comes Mike catching up with Kuniaki, running a bit wide there. Mike's got to tuck it in here. Watch Kuniaki just power away from Mad Mike Wedette. Look at the amount of traction Takahashi has.
Yeah, but Takahashi didn't really get out to outer zone 1, and his initiation was a little bit on the weak side, unfortunately.
Let's watch this
So
run
we'll take a
again.
look again. Mike had a better flow into outer zone 1, although he wasn't following Takahashi's
Yeah, Mike's line right there is, yeah, that is a very good line there from Mike.
But he does close the door. Not really, actually.
Both, it was looking good, like going into the second outer zone. If he could have held that position all the way around, that'd have been an easy kill for Mike, but just falling back slightly. So Kuni in the lead there, some good and bad points, but Mike also some very good and very bad points on his run too.
Yeah, but Mike was never actually really close. He never really had the proximity to Kuni's. And then again, Kuni's...
He did for a second, but then it just sort of lost it.
Right. And then
Yeah.
Kuni's had a weak initiation to outer zone 1, but the rest of the course was nice. He had an aggressive transition, filled outer zone 2, got to inside clip, and then through the finish line by filling outer zone 3. So this is one of those cases where I would really hate to be in the judge's seat.
Basically, anytime Mad Mike is out there, it's difficult to be a judge, I'd say. You usually get some very interesting results. But that's what we're here to watch.
So let's hope the second run brings a winner.
Let's keep it clean, boys. Here we go. Mad Mike Wedette again. Quad rotor, twin turbo, RX-7 versus straight 6 turbo. Takahashi following. So Mike, nice early for him. Takahashi taking a very mild approach to the chase, but here's where he's going to attack. Takahashi very close for the entire run. Lost in the smoke. He was there the entire time.
Nice.
So very, very close chase run now.
But a very solid
man.
lead run for Mad Mike.
Yeah. Now, we're comparing lead runs there. Watch this entry from Mike. Now, watch the chase car. Kuniaki just sort of...
Yeah, Kuni's tucked in right away.
Very
on
late.
outer zone 1.
Yeah. Right
Nice transition
here.
from both drivers.
Bit of a wobble there on the transition there from Takahashi as well. That could have been the place that could have got it for Takahashi. Now, there was a slight sort of hesitation there. Wow.
This is a hard one.
Always making it hard.
Mad Mike definitely had the better lead run. Kuni's had the better chase, but then you can't have a good chase without a good lead run. So
That's right.
what do you do at this instance or at this point?
I think both of these guys are both very aggressive in leads and chases. There's, compared to some other drivers who are always better at chase or better at lead, these guys are good at both. We have a result between these two. One for Mad Mike Wedette, two. So there you go. So Kuniaki Takahashi unfortunately getting knocked out. Mad Mike moving on to the top 8, to the grade 8.
Well, I'm sure all his fans are happy about that call. I'm sure we've had some unhappy fans in the past events.
We, you guessing, or we know that for a fact?
I'm guessing.
Yeah, no, I think I know that for a fact.
But to break that run down, I mean,
no, I mean we can break
for the lead run. Takahashi failed to hit outer zone 1.
Yeah.
And, you know, without a good lead run, it's not a really good chaseable run.
I mean, couldn't he? He's always a very strong lead driver. If he could have, like, compared to his qualifying runs and even practice runs, that was not what we've seen.
Subpar.
That was definitely subpar to what we've seen him. We've seen him play before. So, unfortunately for him, getting knocked out. Mad Mike moving on to the Grade 8. So this is our second run now. Our one more time between Takahashi and Jagger. So here we go. Last chance for Chris Jagger. Is his luck changing or is his luck about to run out? Takahashi, so good run so far. Way off the outclip, Takahashi. Jagger has a chance. He's got to tuck in. Nice line there for Jagger. Falling back slightly. Now that lead run there for Takahashi, that first outer clip, the outer zone.
Yeah, it seems
way
like
off there.
A lot of these drivers in the lead position are forgetting the importance of hitting outer zone 1.
Yeah.
Which is literally right in front of us and the judges. So
it's
we can
very
see
easy for us
everything.
to see. Very easy.
And you know, there was never really a moment where Chris closed the gap between the two vehicles. So, you know, obviously, Takahashi failing to hit outer zone 1 had nothing to do with Chris failing to close the gap between himself and Takahashi.
So remember, lead run needs to be essentially a 100-point qualifying run.
Right, you can't just run away from the chase vehicle. I mean,
that's it.
You have to provide a chance to the chase driver by hitting all the outer zones, hitting the clip, the inside clip.
I admit it's a difficult mindset to shake because does that show a lack of confidence in your own skills or like a desperation to win when you do that?
No,
like
obviously.
From a driver's point of view?
I mean, if you need to formula drift, the idea is to provide a show, competitive tandem battle. And if you're just thinking about running away, your line's going to get smaller, your angle's you're going to have less angle.
Our second run now. Jagger leading, Takahashi taking a very shallow line. Once again, great angle from Jagger, but losing a lot of speed. Takahashi also again way off. His line is way off. Takahashi, the chase car, the green car, his line way off what it needs to be. Chris Jagger, again, not a perfect run from Chris, losing a lot of speed once again through the transition between outer zone 1 and 2, but compare the lines between these two cars.
Yeah, Chris definitely had the upper hand in reaching outer zone 1, but then the same thing happens every time from Chris. From outer zone 2 to the inside clip, he goes way wide and completely misses inside clip. But even behind that, I mean, Takahashi was a little bit of a mess from outer zone 1 to outer zone 2.
Yeah, that wasn't really throwing off Takahashi, Chris's mistakes there. So we have a result here. Is Chris's luck turning? It is. Chris Jagger from Australia. 1, 2, 3 in favour. He'll be moving on to the Grade 8.
And he'll be seeing Andy Gray.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He will?
Yep.
Ooh. That's going to be a good one. Jagger up against Andrew Gray in the next battle. So this is the point at which Andrew Gray sort of turns on the switch of the remote kill that he installed on Jagger's car when it was in his garage back in. I'm kidding. Come on. So great run from Chris Jagger, as I mentioned before.
A solid run, actually.
Very good, yeah. I mean, as I mentioned before, Chris Jagger, his aim was to compete in the series this year. I haven't asked him directly, but I'm guessing it means that he's doing it so he can put in a petition for a pro license in the US series. That's just my guess, which is a pathway that you can take. Originally with a JZX90, bowing out of round 1 due to mechanical failure, riding off his car in another competition in between and building this car up, failing to qualify 0-0 at EBC circuit. So, and he broke a couple of ribs in that crash too. Moving on, next battle now. Yakoy versus Taguchi. Now these two guys are both going to go at this bare-knuckled. Look at this lead run from Yakoy. Speed from Yakoy. Getting all these line clips right. Sort of leaving Taguchi flat-footed there.
Yeah, he pretty much smoked him.
He did.
But Yakoy did have a slight wobble on initiation. I don't know if it was a.
So watching the foreground, you can
so
see.
he starts to initiate.
There you go. It was
But
okay.
Yeah, it just didn't look like it just snapped into position. But yeah, he pretty much smoked Taguchi in his lead.
That was
Taguchi having a hard time closing the gap.
That was a lead run. Like, that was a good lead run to chase, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He had a lot of speed, some solid angle, good transition to outer zone 2, getting to inside clip number 1, and then to outer zone 3, filling the whole zone to the finish line.
Interesting thing about this battle, Yakoy's car, you can see there, 2JZ powered. Taguchi's car actually SR20 powered, so still with the 4-cylinder. Maybe lacking a bit of torque in that uphill right-hander on the entry. So Taguchi doing well on smaller tracks where the response of the SR20 can be an advantage. Oop, we got a...
Uh-oh.
Never mind that. There we go. Never mind that. So it's a 2.2 litre SR20, I should add. So this time it is Taguchi leading up garage S15. Yakoy, okay, initiating both these guys. Taguchi trying to take a slightly different line, way off the outer clip. Again, way off the outer clip. Whoa, that could have been really bad for Yakoy there, but Yakoy massaging his car into position. Any other driver that might have been a half spin or a straight in there, but for Yakoy, not a problem. Let's watch this replay.
Yeah, it just looks like Taguchi's having a hard time, getting his car into position. In fact, he cuts outer zone way short, transitions early, misses outer zone 2 with a lot of angle, has to get on the brake for a long time, while Yakoy does a phenomenal job adjusting to his line without any incidents. So huge props to both drivers, but even better job for Yakoy avoiding incident or conflict at outer zone 2 to inside clip number 1.
And it's going to be a result for this battle 1, 2, and 3. Hashtag Yakoy hype.
Straightforward battle.
So that's going to be a, what's that?
That was a pretty straightforward
it was.
win
It was.
for Yakoy.
So Yakoy. I just wrote Yokio on my sheet. I've got to correct that now.
It's like Diego.
Diego Santos. Daigo's Mexican cousin.
His twin brother.
I love those photoshopped pictures of Daigo with the moustache and the sombrero. It's just so stupid. All right, next battle now. This is the rerun between Tamagawa in the lead, Fukata following. Now, we saw last time Tamagawa kind of screwed up his lead run. Once again, very shallow in the line and way out his line, way off.
Yeah, and the same thing for Fukata too. I mean, he just can't seem to close the gap from essentially the start of the course.
Yeah.
If I were him, I would jump even earlier than that and try to get up to speed right away. But Tamagawa's car is just that much faster as soon as he gets sideways on entry. He just fails to get to outer zone 3, which has been the trend for a lot of drivers out here today.
So Fukata there in the Mark II, the Toyota Mark II sedan. Yeah, it would make sense. I really want. I'm just sort of saying this because I'd like to see it. I really want to see one driver at least just do this big rocket start jump, and ahead of the lead car, like the chase car, just to jump the start like 3 or 4 seconds before it. I don't know. I really want to see it.
Yeah, but the issue with that is some lead drivers in the position, when they see the chase driver take a huge rocket launch start,
right?
They'll play games, or that opens up a door to play games. Say you let the chase driver, leave the gate early, and you're the lead driver. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm one of those drivers.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You see that, and you can sort of time it right where you force the chase driver to lift off throttle, and then at that moment, as the lead driver, you can just rocket ship past the chase,
right,
and use that momentum to create an even bigger, massive gap. So, Yeah, you
So
don't
it's
want to jump.
not a good strat to take.
Right, you don't want to jump at the light too early.
I will say that the Tamagawa's car, I mean, it's got big 285 section tires on the back and big 2JZ engine. Oh, look, there's an FD driver just walking past. We just had the Norwegian Hammer just walk past and sit down in the VIP section in front of us. So second run now, Fukata versus Tamagawa. Tamagawa right up against Fukata's tail. So Fukata, good line from him. Watch the transition here. Once again, great line from the lead car, Fukata, but Tamagawa right there with him, door to door through the outer zone 3 over the finish line. Getting a round of applause for that chase run there for Tamagawa.
Yeah, the first half of the run, I mean, Tamagawa did run a little shallow in outer zone 1, but for the rest of the course, he pretty much closed door. I get right to his door for the rest of the run, so.
Very shallow line for Tamagawa.
But from the transition to outer zone 2 and into inside clip 1, pretty much the rest of the course, he was right on his door.
Yeah, that's the longest we've seen people do that so far. Maybe one of the longest we've seen so far, on his door all the way from the inner clip. Oh, that's a long way too. Look at that. Look at the distance there. But now here's the interesting thing about that battle. Tamagawa on the outer zone 1 took a very shallow line, which allowed him to tuck in. Let's watch this again. So watch the chase car. Ken, I want to get your opinion on this.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that earlier.
Tamagawa, here, watch this. Watch the lead car. Fukata in the lead goes right out to where he should. But Tamagawa tucks in right there. Watch this. And he flicks back, tucks in, and basically holds that position all the way around. Now, is that okay to do? Like, is it okay to sacrifice a clip in one point if it means you're going to get that in another area? Like, what are the judges going to do as far as...
I mean, it's not okay, but to close the gap or to get better proximity, it's better to run a shallow line or reduce angle and run a shallower line to close the proximity, but get right back to the proper line as soon as you do so.
Right, I see what you're saying. So he sacrificed
he sacrificed outer zone 1 to gain that proximity. But even before that, he pretty much had the proximity. So if he wanted to, he could have ran a little wider.
I see what you're saying. So he wasn't way off, took a weird line and then caught up. He was already there. And then took a slightly shallower line to catch up even closer. Right?
I don't think he intentionally took a shallow line.
Right.
It was just the way he placed his car in initiation forced him to run a shallower line. But if you were to ask me, just watching from his aggressive nature, I would love to give it to Tamagawa.
Right.
Only because his chase was more aggressive. And, Fukata in his lead, or in his chase, wasn't so strong either.
Hello. That's us there. Hello. Yay. We're up here. So as you can see, these are the judges right there. So they're seeing exactly what we're seeing. So we have a result for this battle. And it looks like it's going to go that way. And one more time. So which way is this going to go? Andy Yan is going to start it. Tamagawa. So very close fought battle there for Fukata. But unfortunately for him, Tamagawa in the Supra will move forward. So that obviously that aggressive strategy there paid off for him. So great play by Tamagawa.
So we'll see a battle between Tamagawa and Mad Mike, actually, in the grade 8. So
two of the most aggressive drivers we have here today, I think. Well, sort of on-edge aggressive, not sort of controlled aggressive like Yakoy.
Okay, and here's our last battle for the top 16.
Right, so this is our last battle. So we've rerun. This is Yamashta versus Izuka.
Yes. So Izuka in the S15 and Yamashta in the JZX 100 Mark II.
So Yamashta will be leading champ. Yamashta, Izuka. He's a very, big understeer there. Understeer, no, for Izuka. Oh, whoa, he's going to keep it off the wall, son. Massive mistake there for Izuka, unfortunately. We were talking about this earlier today on the entry, Ken, weren't we, about that long understeer on the entry, not getting the back of the car out. Remember in this previous battle too, he had to pull the handbrake to get the back of the car to step out, so he may have some sort of chronic understeer issues with this car. Right. He backed off there, didn't he, to avoid hitting Yamashta, right?
I think naturally his car is just too grippy in the rear, and as soon as he's on throttle, his front lifts, obviously reducing front end grip. And you combine that with cold front tires, or front tires that haven't been, in the heat cycle warmed up.
Yeah.
That's even less grip, more so. So this is very unfortunate for Iizuka in that situation, but
yeah,
quite a run from Yamashta.
So Yamashta will be in the chase. So we can see, what's the following car right about there. He backs on, see, he janked the wheel across and kind of backed off, which it looks like it unsettled the car, yeah? And sort of, it already had sort of slight understeer.
Right, I mean,
emphasized
right
that.
from his initiation approach, he never really got the car to set in.
It wasn't settled, was it? It
right.
was, yeah. So a lot of motivation for Iizuka on the right-hand side. 2JZ powered S15 Sylvia. But this is the thing. This is what I always tell people about a lot of these Japanese drivers. For example, we see their champ Yamashta. Of course, we have so many awesome drivers all around the world, but these old school guys have been through so many crashes, so many situations before that they tend to handle those sort of odd situations like that a lot better, I find. So handbrake, little entry there for Yamashta. Also sort of adjusting his line too. That's interesting there for Yamashta, the following car. Great chase run for Yamashta. Just keeping it clean and consistent behind Iizuka, which is basically all he needs to do to win this.
Yeah, not the best chase from, what we've seen from Yamashta, but
sort of hoping
definitely
for more, right?
Enough, I would say, to get him past the top 16.
So watch the following car.
Yep, that was definitely an e-brake initiation.
Once again, right there. But again, emulating the line of the lead car. This is a great shot here. It shows that. Iizuka sort of pulling away slightly there, but Yamashta just keeping the distance. Might be a bit hard to see on computer monitors. You might want to turn your contrast down a bit to see the cars through this smoke. Yeah, I mean, that's a great chase run. His line and was better. The outer zone there for the following car, Yamashta, was better as well. Obviously emphasized by the long rear end on that big four-door.
Right, and Yamashta's lead run was actually pretty decent too, so I don't think it's going to go in Iizuka's favor.
So Iizuka, looks like his day might be over. We'll see what the judges have to say. I think it's going to be a fairly obvious result. So if you're just joining us now, where have you been? We're at the end of the top 16 here at round 3 of Formula Drift Japan, Fuji Speedway. The time here is roughly 2:30 in the afternoon, but we still have the top 8 all the way through to the final to go here. So if you're just joining us now, you're into the meat of it now. We've already seen some great battles. So this is the first run. So understeer there for Iizuka and just going off, and whoa, it could have gone really bad here. Actually, he got that second out of zone pretty good even after that big mistake there. And over the finish line. So do we have, okay, so we do have a result. It should pop up. And there you have it, the Yamashta on the right, champ Yamashta in the JZX 100 Mark II, the Weld car. 1, 2, 3, he'll be moving on to the Great 8. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So if you just joined us, actually, we're just about to go to a commercial break. So we will be back in about 5 minutes from now. So this is your chance to go to the bathroom, get yourself a snack. We'll be back with the top 8 all the way through to the final. This is Alexi Smith and Ken Gushi here at Fuji Speedway for Formula Drift Japan Round 3. We'll be right back with the top 8 all the way through to the final. Stay with us. I didn't get the cue from the director, but we are live here at Fuji Speedway. Oh no, what's that on the camera lens there? Is that rain?
Uh-oh.
I just had a quick look at the radar on my phone, the little smartphone application. That is rain in the background. I think it's going to miss us. It should. It's got the prediction of how far it's going to move and it might just skim past Fuji Speedway, but we'll have to wait and see. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Grade 8 of Formula Drift Japan, round 3, here at the lovely Fuji Speedway. Main course, we're not using one of those scrub, you know, the small course, the short course, or the driftland course or anything like that. We're on the main track as used in Formula 1, as used in Super GT. Big, long, sweeping corners here.
Yeah, the 100R, which is also used as a straightaway for these drivers. The start line or the start chicane is on the 100R, the beginning of the 100R. And here we have our first battle in the Grade 8.
All right, here we go. We have Shinji Minoa, yesterday's #1 qualifier, versus Sheng Nian. Now, this is going to go one way or the other, I got to say. But Minoa, look at the drive of Minoa's car.
Oh, no.
It's Sheng Nian. That's not the track.
Ooh, that is a solid lead run from Minoa.
Damn, that is hard to follow.
A definitely heartbreaking run for Nian. He treated the outer zone clips as an inside clip.
That's it. Watch this again. Here we go. Here we go. Bye-bye.
Way
See ya.
past the outer zone.
He went around
He
it.
went around it. Comes back on course.
Oh,
but there's no
man.
way he's going to make up that mistake in this run at least.
Only Nian could do that, like, and get away with it. Really. Like, anyone else would have just gone spearing off. Whoa. All right.
Huge advantage for Shinji.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Definitely. That was, he went so far off track.
Yeah, and he's no driver to slack off in the chase position, even if he knows that he has an advantage. So this second
Look how
run
much
is
he's
gonna be
waving his hand
exciting.
right there.
He's happy.
He's happy.
He's excited. He's pumped.
Yeah. So opposite clip there. First time we've seen that this weekend.
We saw that in practice, actually.
We did? Oh, we did.
Yes.
We've seen people take out the clips with the side of the rear of their car. We saw, I think yesterday, who was it? I think it was Mad Mike actually drove straight into both of them.
Right, and then today, too, we had the Crown.
Oh, yep. Oshido
Oshido in the Crown.
running very wide.
Oh, no, it was
Iha. Iha running very wide in the big green Crown.
He knows he made that mistake.
He's like, sorry. Yeah, made a mistake. Too bad. But as Ken just said, Shinji is not one to back off in the chase position. So here we have twin turbo V6 versus turbo straight 6. This time Nian in the grey chaser leading. Shinji Minoa in the Z34 Fair Lady in the white there following. Here comes the entry from Sheng Nian, looking a bit better this time. Okay, good line from Nian. We can't see Shinji, which means he's right there. Well, look at the flick there from Shinji. Much better line from Minoa.
Oh.
Whoa, he's going to spin out.
I think he did.
He did. There he goes. Once again. Bye-bye.
Nian is still drifting off course. All right, so that was a scary moment for Shinji getting inside the cloud smokescreen of Nian.
Because Nian, we could see it from up here. Nian was like almost past 90 degrees, and then he spun.
Well, even before that, if we watch the replay,
right
Shinji
here
is stuck in that smokescreen right there somewhere.
Oh, he just pops out of it there,
Pops
right?
out of it.
Damn, that'd be scary to do.
Right.
So look,
And
throws
then
it too
we see
hard.
Nian
He
almost
flicks. Oh, he high sides it the other
right,
way.
like you said, chucking 90s
Is that what you
on the
call-
dirt.
Chucking night. What's that? Is that meant to be Australian?
I don't know.
No.
He just chucked the 90 into the dirt.
Is that a new
I don't know. I guess we
Gushyism?
can make it a Gushyism word.
Don't force the meme.
Chucking backies and 90s.
Check, yeah. I mean, I've always heard people say high side, but that's a motorcycle term, but it seems to fit. Shinji Minoa, 1, 2, 3, into the top 4.
That means he's actually guaranteed a podium now.
Because he
Which
first
is
place qualifier.
So
That's
no
right.
matter what happens in the final 4 battle, Shinji will get 3rd place.
That's right, because in the Formula Drift series, we do not run a 3rd place battle.
Right.
The 3rd place goes to, is it the highest ranked qualifier? Is that how it works?
Yes.
Yes, there you go. So Shinji with the 1st place yesterday, automatic run. So here we go. Interesting battle now. These guys have driven a lot together before. The Jagger actually lived in Japan at Ebisu Circuit with Andy for about a year. This is a solid run from the Jagger in the follow. Look at how close to Jagger is for the entire run. To Jagger washing a little bit wide there. But the first half of that run,
Yeah, that was very nice.
Considering the horsepower and grip of Andy's car, the Jagger's chase one was phenomenal coming up to the inner clip.
Right, it was. And Andy had a really solid lead run as well. We watched this. Chris just tucks in right behind Andy, transitions together, fills outer zone 2, gets into the inside, but then
once again, he did that. He always does that. That's his Achilles.
Kryptonite right there.
Yeah.
Is that inside clip. He just washes out and has to step off the throttle for a brief moment to settle back in, and that's where Andy has a chance to run away from Chris. Is from inside clip to outer zone 3 on the finish line. But nonetheless, that was a extremely solid chase.
It was.
And lead from
both
drivers.
Overall, great run from both these guys here. Just a bit of a mistake there from Chris Jagger right before the in clip between outer zone 2 and the in clip there, just washing out slightly wide. So great looking cars, these two. Andrew Gray there. Chris Jagger. This is actually, this car, it's not paint, it's not a wrap, it's like removable paint. I don't want to say the brand of the, I mean, this one is called,
like a Plastidip?
I didn't want to say that. This is called Eye Candy, and they make these amazing colors. There's a Corvette parked out in the car park with this ridiculous color on it, which is like a spray-on removable paint job on it. So second one now, Chris Jagger. So Andrew Gray really needs to outperform Chris here. So Chris, the flick back. Andrew Gray right there with him. Now Andy needs to get up close to Chris Jagger right here. And he's doing it. That's what he needed to do. In the chase position, Andrew Gray. That's where Chris Jagger fell back.
You know what's interesting is Chris had a better chase, though.
He did, in that middle part of the track.
Yeah, well, especially from the initiation to the inside clip.
He did.
Until he washed a little wide, had to step off throttle, creating a gap. But now in this run, Andy starts off with a gap and never really closes the gap here.
Bit of a wobble there, sort of on handbrake a bit. That's a great chase of the second half of the course. I wouldn't be surprised.
But you know what? Andy did have
I wouldn't be
really
surprised.
solid lead.
He did. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was one more time. But so I think Andy overall was. I think there we go. There we go. So there you go. It's just there you go. So very close battle there, but Andrew Gray just knocking out Chris Jagger. His luck ends here.
Yeah, that was a great drive from Chris Jagger.
That was the best run we've seen from Chris Jagger all weekend.
But his mistake on inside clip to outer zone 3 in the chase position and the stronger lead run from Andrew Gray is probably what gave Andrew the win.
So there you go. So unfortunately for Chris, getting knocked out. We're going to move on to our next battle now. Now here's an interesting one. Tamagawa versus Wedette, Mad Mike in the quad rotor twin turbo RX-7. Look at that. He's got his windscreen wiper. Actually, they both have their windscreen wipers going. That means we have a bit of a sprinkle going on right now. Not sure if that's going to change the track conditions too much yet. So they were just clearing the rain off, so it's not raining that much yet. Tamagawa leading. Both cars initiating at the same time. Great run so far. Look at Wedette catching up, running a bit wide there. Wedette needs to flick it back. He needs to tuck in, get that power down, tuck it in. Mistake there from Wedette.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge deduction on Mike, if not a 0, because that was completely off course.
Let's watch this
by
replay.
At least 3 wheels, so we'll take a look at the replay here.
Was it that far off?
Yeah, nice initiation by both drivers, and then we'll take a look.
Nice angle
There's
there.
One. Oh, yeah, 2 maybe.
2 off, yeah.
But nonetheless, that is a mistake.
That's a big mistake from...
Given that Tamagawa did get to the outer zones.
And he did a good job of it too, didn't he?
Yeah,
in the lead position. Like he gave Mike every opportunity to do a good chase.
Yeah, we see both drivers with the wipers on, so I think that's a sign of some water coming down.
That car just sounds so good. It's like, combine the rotary sound and the turbo sound. It's just, oh, it's great. So there'll be a very quick gap where we've got our service vehicle, we've got our Fuji Speedway workers, which are going to return. You can see there in the it's the middle of the screen there, returning the pylon to its position. There you go. Hard-working guys. They were actually all out on the track earlier today with those brooms sweeping off the track. We always sort of point that out. It's like there's no, backpack blowers used in Japan. It's always those.
What's a backpack blower?
You know, the things that they wear it on their back and the.
Oh, the leaf blowers.
The leaf blower things, yeah. They don't use
wooden old school.
They use
brooms,
those like the Hawkeye,
sweepers,
yeah,
right?
those old like you buy them for $3 at the home center. I guess that makes sense because you have 10 guys with a broom, they can get the whole thing done quickly. That's what I mean. It makes sense. And if you lose one, it doesn't matter. Okay, next run now. This is going to be interesting. This time, Wedette leading Tamagawa with a very fast car chasing. Here they come around the first corner. Tamagawa, look at the light. Oh, and a similar sort of mistake for Tamagawa, but this time, all four wheels off the track. Are these guys psyching? They're psyching each other out, aren't they? They've psyched each other out.
Well, not just that, but it is starting to sprinkle out there. So
could
I
that be an
think
issue?
Mike took that into consideration and went a little shallow to prevent from overshooting the zone, but that got him a little, shallow.
Right.
On the other hand, Tamagawa just went way wide, getting blindsided by Mike's smoke, from what I assume. But
I mean, that was a similar line to the one he took in the previous battle with Fukata, right?
yeah, it was.
Where he sort of went out there, but instead of hitting the zone and tucking in, the car just went out from under him.
Yeah.
So we have a result 1, 2, and 3 in favor of Mad Mike Wedette. He'll be moving on to the top 4.
I mean, that was pretty obvious. Tamagawa went way off. That was completely 4 tires off.
And once again, we have our course workers out. They've got to they have to go a bit further this time to retrieve the.
So what's interesting is in the top 4, we're going to have 2 Japanese drivers and 2 foreign drivers. One being Andrew Gray and Mad Mike. And they're on both sides of the bracket.
So we could potentially have a overseas driver only result. So we have basically a 50-50. Well, it depends really.
Well, Minoa is already guaranteed 3rd place.
Right.
So we know for sure we'll have 1 Japanese driver in the podium. But we could see a possible Mad Mike versus Andrew Gray in the finals if Minoa loses to Andy. But Minoa has been on fire all weekend.
He has.
Obviously qualifying 1st place.
Yeah, that run was amazing yesterday. Probably one of the... Oh, it is raining. We're seeing everybody getting their umbrellas out here at Fuji Speedway, so this is going to make things interesting. It's not absolutely bucketing down yet, but just enough to, for everybody out there who doesn't have an umbrella is kind of heading back to the pits.
Yeah, but this is definitely enough rain to change the course conditions. So
absolutely.
We're going to see a huge reduction in speed, especially entry speed going towards Outer Zone 1. And I'm going to say they'll be way more timid in their transition from Outer Zone 1 to Outer Zone 2.
And as we mentioned before, the course itself, it's not flat. There is quite a steep, I wouldn't say steep, but noticeable elevation change between Outer Zone 1, Outer Zone 2, and the inner clip. It kind of goes up, then further up, and then over a crest and then down again, so you can see there. Enough rain to pull out your umbrella or your poncho. Or your kappa. Why is it called a kappa in Japan? Is that something to do with the
monster?
The monster? There's a monster called a kappa in
I
Japan.
don't know. I think it's just called a kappa.
Is that it? Okay. I always thought maybe, I assumed it had something to do with the fact that kappa
The green
are like
monsters?
Yeah, because they're like water monsters or something. I don't know. I just
Maybe. I don't know.
Don't know. I don't know. I'll have to
That's,
get
that's something I gotta Google.
Yeah, so a great shot just then of out of focus trees. I think maybe they were trying to see if they could get a shot of the rain. So we have Yakoy, he's got his wipers going the whole time now, so that's enough of rain to
Oh, that's gonna be
be
interesting.
an issue. This is going to be interesting. So Yakoy leading. Wow, already sliding slightly there. Yakoy. Look at the understeer of Yamashta in the background. Eee, wow. So immediate change in conditions here. Zero smoke. That is horrible timing for Yamashta there. I have to point out too that Yamashta is actually running on 265 series tyres on this car, not 285 like a lot of the other bigger cars too.
Is he down on power, or is
No,
that
it,
just his choice?
Well, apparently his tyre distributor, his sponsor, doesn't actually have 285s in the country.
Okay, so Yamashita did take 3 wheels off for sure, and then another tire off in outer zone 2. But with that said, Yokoi's outer zone 1 wasn't as strong either. But at this point, what can you do? You got to really either play it safe or gamble and push wide to outer zone 1, given the course condition and the weather here. But like you said earlier, we did see a huge reduction in speed. Well, not only speed, but tire smoke.
Yeah.
So there
Makes
was
it
no
obvious.
tire smoke. And,
今降ってる? どれぐらい? Mama. Yeah, so I just asked the guy standing outside the tent how much it was raining. It's like, yeah, enough.
yeah, enough to change the course condition by a lot. So
Is that video or a photo? Ah, he got me posing there like an idiot. Just Antonio Alvandia over from the United States. Yeah, it was a video. I was posing for like 20 seconds and he's taking a video. There was actually a joke a while ago in Japan, like, you know, people taking vines, and like they take the photo it was like they were taking a photo, and the people be posing, and it's like, vine dayo. Like you get people posing for like a minute, and it's like, it's a video. Like, yeah. There you go. That's you can see the rain there. That's what that shot was there before. I just saw him in my little unofficial chat here. I'm running on Discord. People are going, great shot. It's like, so you can see how much it's raining. And so both cars, there's that smell too. You know, that smell,
the smell of rain.
That hot concrete smell. Yep. Yeah. So we're getting that hot concrete smell. There's actually a word for that. It's called petrica. Petrica. It translates as the blood of the earth.
Really?
Or blood of the blood of the earth.
Sounds like a monster.
It's the smell of the blood of the earth. Yeah, it's a weird word. Yeah. Wikipedia. Okay, second battle now. Yamashta versus Yakoy. Now Yamashta. Yeah, look at the difference in speed now in entries. It's gone down a fair bit. Yakoy, wow, these guys are on ice right now. Look at the transition. Wow, look at the difference
nice
in
chase, though.
Great chase. Nice run between these two guys right now. Look at Yakoy catching up over the finish line. Look at that chase run there from Yakoy. Wow, that is a master steerer at work there. Let's watch the replay. Yeah, they were really like skating along on that surface, weren't they?
Nice initiation from Yamashita, though.
Yeah, just that whap.
Just very snappy.
Yeah.
And he actually fills outer zone 1, gets to outer zone 2. Very nice line and approach to inside clip 1. So it wasn't just Yakoy that was phenomenal in this run. Yamashita's run up front was really well done.
There's a little bit of a straight in there too from Yamashita just before the finish line. I saw that too. He kind of.
I mean, it's slightly wobbly.
There's a bit of a wobble, yeah. But I wouldn't say it was a straighten, but yeah, it didn't look very easy for both these guys. So yeah, once again, great tandem run between these two, Yamashta and Yakoy. So we do have a result there. I'm going to guess it's going to go to the right. And 1, 2, and 3 judges slide them right. Boys in favor of hashtag Yakoy hype. Yakoy moving through to the top 4, which means he's going to go up against Mad Mike. So this is Yakoy's chance for revenge after last year's loss at Ebisu's circuit, at which Mad Mike steamrolled everybody and got through to first place. So a chance for revenge for Yakoy. All right, so we are already through to the semi-final. So we have 3 battles to go, assuming there's no one more times. And those 2 battles will be Shinji Minoa versus Andrew Gray and Mad Mike Widet versus Masashi Yakoy. So 4 big heavy hitters here in the top 4.
Yeah, definitely. Big names, huge names.
But look at the track. Look at the conditions immediately.
Right, it's an equalizer for
it is.
Horsepower,
this is,
grip.
Yeah, I mean, what this is going to do too is people who can adapt to these sorts of conditions. Like guys who can change their driving style at the flick of a switch.
You know, I know all these drivers personally, and they are all very adaptive drivers who drive really well in different weather conditions, different road surface conditions. Especially Shinji. I mean, he's been a resident of the country of Japan pretty much his entire life. So
yeah.
He's driven in the rain many long hours. And obviously with Andrew Gray living in Nihonmatsu, right by Ebisu, he's seen rain, snow, earthquakes. He's seen a bunch of things.
That's right. We have snow drifting up at Ebisu in the winter as well, which is a lot of fun. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in these next 2 battles.
Okay, well, it looks like each driver in the top 4 are going to get a 1 lap in the rain just to check surface condition. And we have our first driver here, Shinji Minoa in his 370Z with Team Boss. As you can see
look
here,
at
once he got on the zebras at Outer Zone 1, it was extremely slippery. And then comes Andy Gray in the background. Same thing with Andy, he's on the zebras right now. Outer Zone 1 transitions to Outer Zone 2. A huge reduction in speed. It looks very slippery at Outer Zone 3 right before the finish line, but
wow,
very nice control there by both drivers.
So a big change of conditions here at Fuji Speedway. I think the only people remaining on the hill are the ones with umbrellas or ponchos or I see there's 2 guys down there with garbage bags. See those guys over there?
I see a guy up there with the fan. He's covering his head with the fan.
And there's one guy with a little Japanese fan, one of the promotional fans. Like fans as in the things you like fan yourself with. Andy drifting the opposite direction too, just getting some more. There you see just there. Man, it's a slippery looking track.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even just up here, just having a look at the walkway just behind the tent here, I mean, it's quite wet. It's just got that slick layer of rain sitting on top of it. Someone in chat just said, well, at least we get to see the entire run now, not get blinded by smoke. That's a good point.
That is a very good point, actually.
Yeah, that is a very good point.
But we will see a huge reduction in speed.
Speed, yeah. Unfortunately, that's going to be the big difference, unfortunately.
But a little bit of rain don't hurt, hey?
Yeah. Rain, hail, or shine, drifters will be out there on the track. All right, here we go. First battle now between Minoa and Gray. Here we go, Minoa initiating very early.
Yeah, that's a signature initiation, starting way
Look at this line. Look how smooth all the way. Oh, he's going to... Andrew Gray, same line. Andrew Gray, a bit of a hesitation on the transition there.
Oh, my God.
Look at this lead run. Shinji. Oh.
Wow.
You can bet on that run there, Shinji Minoa.
So you can tell these guys have a lot of experience in hours driving in this weather condition. it's almost as if the rain didn't phase any of these drivers.
Yeah, no,
We
nothing.
saw a little bit of a gap between Andrew Gray and Shinji, but there's Shinji with his signature early initiation,
Yeah, look at that.
carrying all that speed and momentum, even in this wet. Hits outer zone 1, drops 1 tire, but so does Andrew Gray. Transitions, fills outer zone 2, and still manages to carry the car through inside clip 1, even in this slippery road condition, while taking the car to outer zone 3, crossing the finish line.
Look at
So
his
both
tire.
drivers-
Like his tire is just riding the white line. Same
Right.
thing on outer zone 2. He just rode his rear tire over the white line. That's an amazing run there from Shinji Minoa. What are you a fan of rain? You know, in Japan they say someone is an ameyaro, like a rain.
Yeah, you know what? I am a Yamearo.
Yeah, you really?
I love driving in the rain.
Is that because you like? I like driving in the rain. Like for example, a couple of years ago, I was determined to like get Minami course, like learn how to drive Minami course at WC Circuit. So what I did was, I'd wait until it was predicted weather, and I'd go up there so I could do like 100 laps in a day in like slow motion.
Oh, okay.
So I sort of like rain from that perspective. But I mean, other people obviously, you know, if you don't have much cash and you want to get into drifting,
Right. Rain driving takes a lot of patience too. I mean,
you have to be very smooth and patient with it. That's right. We'll see. There's no room for patience here. You've got to be aggressive at the same time.
oh my God!
Andrew
just
Gray,
as we say
look at
aggressive-
Minoa, look at Minoa, look at Minoa, right on Andrew Gray's
Oh my
door.
God.
Transition, what are they going to do?
Oh.
Is Minoa going to hold it? Minoa!
Wow.
Minoa is a god. Look at this driving.
Oh my God.
Don't lose it before the finish line.
Oh.
Andrew Gray, half spin.
Oh my
That was
God.
after the finish line, though.
Yeah, but you know what? It was after the finish line, but the drivers' meeting, they always say just don't spin, although it's not a scored area. So I don't know if that's going to count against them, but man, Shinji's chase right off the bat at initiation, he was right on Andrew's door. So
Look at this. Watch this. This is the run of the year right here. Look at this. Look, you can throw a blanket over him.
But he does drop
Look at
2
this.
tires off.
He does.
Because he runs out of space.
Ooh. You can't take that run away from Shinji. Come on. Look at that. Well, I mean,
my
but
God.
I mean, the judges are sitting here right next to us. So was that? Yeah, I mean, that was a lost spin before the line almost. I couldn't quite see on that
Well, you
replay.
see, now then you got to also consider, like, where did the spin start? Did
Yeah.
it start before the finish line?
Just looking at the track in like right now, it looks like he was already spun out before the white line, like or at least committed to the spin. Look at this replay. Look at this. He's parallel parked to.
The thing is, though, he does come off a little shallow there, and strains out just for a brief moment before taking his rear tires off course. But then tucks in right away, and there's Andy. He's going a little straight there too, so that's another mistake by Andy. Is he strained out just a little bit on outer zone 3, which I think caused his spin when he got into the zebras. So.
And the judges are having a bit of a discussion about this because you know that second outer zone by Minoa, of course, yeah, as you said, was that off the track or not?
It was definitely 2 tires off. But,
Are we going to be doing it one more time with this?
You know what? I would really hate to see it one more time.
Yeah.
Only because Shinji's lead run was awesome.
Yeah.
Andy's chase run was not bad, but he did have a little bit of gap. Yep.
So there we go.
Just as we had expected.
So we're going to take that off the first run. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3 in favor of Shinji Minoa. Woo! That was a run and a half.
Yeah, which means Andrew Gray is guaranteed a podium in 3rd place.
Right, because he was the second.
Well, in this, yep.
Oh, because he's lost. So it's first place, and
So we
whoever
know-
wins the second. So first and second is either going to be Minoa, and whoever wins this next battle,
Right.
Andrew Gray third. So whoever loses this next battle is going to be in 4th place.
Exactly.
Right.
Minoa is guaranteed 2nd place at worst. Andrew Gray is guaranteed 3rd place.
So great position right now, Minoa. All right, so I just had a quick word to the judges just to get see what they had to say about that last run. It wasn't a 0 for either of the drivers. Shinji's dirt drop was only 2 wheels off.
Right, it's only a 0 with three or
wheels.
3 or 4, 3 or more.
3 or more.
Yeah.
And Andrew Gray, it wasn't a 0, but it was heavily deducted for that, for his, it was his wobble in the outer zone 3. So it wasn't a spin for him either. So we are down to the pointy end of the battles here today at round 3 of Formula Drift Japan at Fuji Speedway. Yeah, Shinji is on fire today. You can see there a bit of rain. So it is. It's falling fairly consistently now. Not enough. I mean, if you're going to be out here sitting in the rain for the rest of the battles, you'd probably wouldn't want to turn on the air conditioning in your car because you'd probably freeze. But it's enough to you could probably put up with it, I'd say. But if personally, if I had an umbrella in my car, I'd probably be running for it. Seeing what effect left foot braking has on the car there. And yeah, that looked a bit, I don't know, out of these two guys so far right now, it looks like Yakoy looks to be the more comfortable of the two in this, from that run there.
Yeah, but you never know. Some drivers like to push past the limits and take some
That's
steps
it. Well,
back.
if you're going to say if there's one driver that does that, it'll definitely be Mike. Wow, that's slippery.
He's like he's ice skating.
Yeah. Here comes Mike back on his siding lap. Of course, the trick in the rain is that whole getting the power down thing, isn't it?
It is.
So, you know,
and being extremely patient.
Are we talking about Mad Mike here, being patient?
No, but these guys all really know how to drive really well in the wet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
And they've all been in rain battle competition,
Right.
battle in rain before, and especially in rain much heavier than this, right?
Yeah, this is, I mean, it's good enough. It's enough rain to cause some huge changes in driving characteristics and abilities.
So drifting on, I was going to say a knife edge, it should be an ice skate edge here. Super slippery conditions. Here comes Yakoy in the lead now.
Looks like he's already created a gap.
Yeah, good speed there for Yakoy. Here they come onto the main part of the course. Outer clip, Yakoy a little bit off, but not that bad. Wow, so slow compared to before. Mad Mike right there with him.
Oh, Mad Mike getting closer and closer. Oh, hold it.
Hold it. Hold it. You know, we were talking before about, Ken, that you're like, oh, I wish I was out there. What about now?
Yeah.
Still?
For sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, but that was a rather boring run.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's,
I mean, I'm sure rain has to do a lot with it, but I mean, Yakoy.
Flick here. Yeah. Nice transition from both these guys.
Yeah, Mike did get a lot closer than where he started.
Yeah.
He was getting closer to Yakoy, a little past inside cliff number 1, but did fall off a little bit as he got on the zebras at outer zone 3. Yeah, it started to come down a little bit more.
I can hear the rain falling through our headsets because the microphones are picking up the rain falling on the top of the tent.
Yeah, you can definitely hear
Yeah.
some of the raindrops.
So everybody out here, so this is definitely umbrella weather right now. Second run about to come up for Yakoy versus Mad Mike Wedette. This time Mike will be leading. So remember the line you just saw there, Yakoy take. Compare this run now.
Yeah, remember Yakoy was a little off of outer zone 1.
If Mike can just get out to the edge of the track, if Mike can get all his clips right, that's going to give him a massive advantage.
Oh, huge.
Even though you might see Yakoy catch right up to him, if Mad Mike can get his line just right in these conditions, that's going to give him a big advantage over Yakoy's lead run. All right, here we go. Second run now. Mike in the FD RX-7 quad rotor turbo already initiating. He's trying to get his car settled. Here comes Yakoy too. Here they come over the crest. Mike way off his line. Yakoy, we're talking about emulation. Yakoy matching the lead car almost perfectly. Now Yakoy just has to keep his car sideways. Mike straightened up there too. Yakoy doing a great job. Flawless run from Yakoy. That's how you do a chase run in these conditions.
You know, a very comparable lead to lead, though, because both drivers did fail to get out to outer zone 1.
That's right.
And they both got to outer zone 2 to the inside clip. But Yakoy had a better chase from outer zone 2 to the finish. And we saw Mad Mike with a little bit of a straightening up at outer zone 3 as soon as he got to the zebra. So we'll take a look here. As we said earlier, both drivers were off of outer zone 1. Got to outer zone 2, and then from here we see Yakoy close the door, and then when Mike gets to outer zone 3, there's just a small straight, which gave Yakoy the opportunity to close the door even more. Lead to lead, I would say it was even. Chase to chase, I think Mike had some strong points, especially near inside clip, but Yakoy had a stronger finish.
Yeah, just overall, Yakoy.
So,
You don't want to call it?
I don't want to call this one.
Okay, we have
it could be one more time.
I believe we have a result. Not yet.
And we'll see here.
Okay, so yes, we do actually. So 1, 2, so
okay.
and 3.
Right.
Yakoy making it through. Obviously, that chase run was probably what clinched it for him. Fantastic run there for Yakoy. He'll be going through to the final.
Okay, which means Andy Gray is guaranteed a third-place podium. And coming in fourth place would be Mad Mike.
Mad Mike, yes. So Mad Mike taking out 4th position here today at Fuji Speedway.
Yep. And then the finals will be an all-Japanese final with Shinji and Yakoy.
All right, so here we are. If you're just joining us now, you've missed out on a lot of amazing drifting, but you're probably about to see the most amazing run of the day, I hope. I don't want to jinx it. Shinji Minoa, who has been on fire all weekend, has been throwing down some awesome drifting, versus Masashi Yakoy, we just saw there in his battle against Mad Mike. Driving in these now no longer semi-wet. It's full wet conditions here now at Fuji Speedway.
It would be Shinji from Heyman and Yakoy from Mind Control.
So, yeah, if you know these two guys, their crews. Heyman versus Mind Control. Heyman, of course, from Yokosuka. Sorry, machigeta. Yokota, which is in Tokyo.
Yep. And
Mind Control from down in Nagoya. So we have a Kanto Kansai battle here. So basically, that's sort of like East Coast, West Coast rivalry.
Yeah, and Yakoy really hates losing to the Kanto region.
I think basically any Kansai guy would hate to lose to anyone from Kanto. So Kanto, of course, being basically the where Tokyo is. It's sort of like, Tokyo, Saitama, Gunma, Tochigi prefectures, compared to Kansai, which is West Japan, being Osaka, Kyoto, Nara, Nagoya,
Kobe,
especially Kobe. all those sorts of places. So a bit of an image difference between those two areas too. Kansai is a bit more rough, a bit more hardcore, a bit more flashy cars. That's the sort of place, if you know Naoki Nakamura, all those sort of purple Team Burst cars. So Kansai, very flashy drift cars. Kanto, a bit more, how would you say it?
You know, it's weird. The two regions, I always felt like, you know, the Kanto region were big on sedans, big bodies, and then the
absolutely.
Kansai region loved the two-door coupes, the S chassis.
That's it. Yeah. Two-door Silvias are not really that popular up in Kanto, whereas in Kansai it's all Silvias, especially the S13 Silvia is still king down there. But of course, up in, for example, around Tokyo, around Kanagawa, it's the four-door Toyota which is king. Of course, up in the mountains in Saitama, it's still the A86, which is the most popular car out in the countryside up in the mountains. A lot of Toyota A86 drivers living out in Saitama. Of course, Shinji's workshop, Heyman workshop out in Saitama.
Which is a walking distance from
Literally,
Fat 5.
You could throw a shattered piston head and hit Daigo's workshop from Shinji's shop. There's actually a graveyard between them.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Daigo Saito's workshop, a pretty funny place to be. Okay, so before we go to the final, sorry to tease you, we're just going to go to a quick commercial break. But after that's done, we'll be right back. Top 32 this morning, top 16 this afternoon, and we are here at the final battle between Masashi Yakoy and yesterday's first place qualifier there in the foreground, Shinji Minoa. So as you can see, conditions have changed from this morning. It's now fairly wet conditions, enough to slow these guys down quite a lot. So we're setting them out right now on a sighting lap. The rain has stopped a little bit. So just
yeah, but it's still a full wet condition, I gotta say.
It is still definitely full wet. So here's Shinji Minoa just on his check lap. Twin turbo V6. Whoa, keep it off the dirt. There you go. Making that love it or hate it V6 sound. Followed by Masashi Yakoy here in the 2JZ turbo-powered S15 Silvia D-Max, his signature blue color. Here he comes. Nice smooth accelerator work there.
Very good throttle control from both of these drivers, especially around the outer zone 3 area.
Yeah, we've seen both those guys whenever they had to chase, especially into outer zone 3, keeping a nice, smooth, clean distance from the car in front. It's very important. Chat was just saying before, were we talking about Pokemon regions? We were talking about Kanto and Kansai. Well, the names are kind of similar. I think the Tokyo area, the Kanto in Pokemon is called Johto.
No, I think it's called Kanto.
Is it called Kanto?
I think
is
so.
it really?
And then there's Johto.
That's sorry, you're right. That's another. I haven't played it since like university. Yakoy heading back to the start line now.
Yeah, we just saw him warming up his fronts right there, scrubbing his front tires.
Scrubbing his front tires, big heavy understeer. Right, so we're down to the final. This is going to be an amazing battle between these two. Shinji Minoa there in the foreground. Z34 Fairlady, Nissan Fairlady with the twin-turbo VQ engine.
Did you call it a Nissan? Nissan Fairlady?
Nissan?
Nissan? Is that how you say it?
In
Nissan?
Australia. Nissan.
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 How do you say it?
In Japanese or English?
American.
Nissan.
Nissan. Got the Nissan Fairlady Z34. Sorry, I don't want to make light of this. We are down to the final. This is going to be an amazing battle. Shinji Minoa in the lead there. Yakoy following him. Wet conditions here. We've seen Minoa. Oh, a reinitiation there from Minoa. It's okay. Running very wide there. Minoa right out to the edge of the track. Yakoy. Is Yakoy being phased by Shinji's lead run here? Yakoy not really that aggressive compared to the lead run, Minoa. Both cars all the way to the finish line. Yakoy on red line there.
So let's take a look at this reinitiation that you were talking about. I didn't quite catch that one right there, but okay, as Shinji takes off away from the chicane, Yakoy is right on his rear end. Yep, there it is, a reinitiation, but that was way before the first marker. But Yakoy is nowhere to be found pretty much throughout the whole track. Shinji fills out both outer zone 1 and 2 and makes it to inside clip and shooting wide towards outer zone 3, filling the whole zone, crossing the finish line. While Yakoy behind him failed to hit outer zone 1, which might cost him some points. Or give Minoa the advantage. So I don't know how the judges will take a look at that reinitiation, but that was done before the last standing cone.
Gotta say, I was sort of expecting a bit more of Yakoy on that chase run there, but yeah, on that entry way behind Minoa. But Minoa been strong on these entries all day, very high speed around the long right-hand sweeper. Of course, there is still one run to go. Yakoy still with a chance. All right, here we go. We're down to the final run of the final battle between Yakoy and Minoa. This time, Yakoy will be leading in his S15 Sylvia. Yakoy
really close.
Look how close Shinji is once again. Shinji out to outer zone 1. Watch the transition here. This is where Minoa will tuck in up against Yakoy's door. Great clip from the following car, Minoa.
Wow.
All the way to the finish line. Minoa has to keep his angle going. Yakoy on limiter. Over the finish line. Once again, amazing following run from Minoa.
That was a weird initiation, though. Shinji was literally right behind Yakoy. Yakoy had a really tight line as soon as he initiated. So he initiates and stays tight on the right-hand side. So Shinji has to back off a little bit and then initiate and get behind Yakoy as Yakoy fails to approach outer zone 1. He's also shallow on outer zone 2 as to where Shinji had filled both zones. And then this is where Shinji was strong in the chase, especially from outer zone 1 to inside clip and to outer zone 3. So if it were up to me, I do have a decision.
You do?
I do.
I'd say I do as well. And it looks like the judges have made a decision as well. About to get the
So we'll see if they're going to go one more time or come straight to the this front area right in front of us. So if they line up,
we have a decision.
We have a decision. If they don't line up, we also have another decision.
And it looks like, I believe we have a decision between these two. So we're bringing them back. Are they going to line up? Do we have a decision? We do? Okay, are they going to come back around to the front here? You assume so? Usually you bring the, okay, we have the staff truck heading out the track. So yeah, we're going to bring these guys back around. Oh, they're probably going to have to head back to the pits to get their nobody and things like that.
Is that so?
Well, I'm guessing. They got to get their Japanese flags.
That's a Japanese thing because we don't do that in the States where we put Nobori flags on our
It looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Maybe you should do
like
it.
A festival.
Why don't you? Yeah.
You know what? Maybe I should.
You should. What we're talking about right now is what they call nobori, which means
sure the banners essentially.
Banner,
for, companies and sponsors.
But instead, in overseas, our banners go horizontally, right? But in Japan, they stand up, obviously because that style of banner is from back in the day when, mounted cavalry and stuff like that. You'd have a vertical flag attached to the samurai on horseback's back, and you have the writing of who who they are, vertically, right? So it was easy to read who it was, and obviously that design of flag has carried over until today. So it's a bit hard to read English vertically. Now, if they don't do it, it's going to be a bit embarrassing for me bringing all that up. But I don't know. I think that it looks cool when you saw it on the driver's introduction when they have those big, 4 banners sticking out of the car. You should do it. See if
you know what? It would help if I made it to the podium, right? So hopefully Seattle, which is next weekend.
Someone called the fire brigade. That's a bit of a burn there for self-inflicted burn. So we see the left of screen, Shinji Minoa with his Potenza cap on backwards.
He's such a kid. Shinji's a kid at heart.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. He just realized.
Yep.
He just realized. Probably Yakoy's like.
He had to adult.
He had to adult for a second
right
there.
now.
Yeah. So most of the crowd has put their umbrellas back down. Oh, you know what they all did? Look, they all went up to the restaurant. They're all sitting up in the restaurant up there.
Smart.
That's very
That's
smart.
where I would be too if I wasn't.
Because there's air conditioning and ice cream
and food
and
toys.
They have a little play area, yeah.
And gifts.
The gift shop. I want that the James Hunt T-shirt they got on sale there.
Yeah,
that's pretty
they have
cool.
a lot of the endurance race goods.
Like some really old school sort of stuff as well.
Okay, as we wait for the
Hello.
3 vehicles. Hello, everyone.
What's up? If you just joined us now, you don't know who we are, you should. This is Ken Gushi, obviously over from the United States. Pro driver over there. What's his standings right now?
It's a little
should I have not brought that up?
No.
No, okay.
What do you? Solid 19th.
19th out of the field.
Which is actually my career low this late into the season. But we've had a hurricane of a season,
right?
With some mechanical gremlins.
Oh, you have. I know that. And the obviously your car is the.
It's a Toyota Racing Gritty Performance 8.6.
Toyota Racing Gritty Performance 8.6. So no longer under the Scion name.
No.
So here come the cars round to the start line.
Okay, we know for sure Andy's in 3rd place.
That's right. So
as we had mentioned earlier, but we just don't know from that last battle who's going to be standing on top of the podium.
So, yeah, they sent over the current 19th place guy to be my co-commentator this weekend. But I couldn't have wished for a greater co-commentator. A lot of great insight from Ken Gushi this weekend. As far as the strats of the drivers go, their tactics, also mindset in these different conditions in qualifying and stuff like that. So great guy to have here for the commentary. You can see they're down there, obviously, on the right-hand side of the screen. Andrew Gray in 3rd place due to his position in the competition and in qualifying. And on the left of the screen there we have Yakoy and Minoa. So we're going to get the decision to see who wins. And just in the middle of there we have of course, the Formula Drift girls. I'll have to put up all their Snapchats. All their Instagrams later on my Snapchat. So go and check that out later on. They're worth following, I guarantee you.
Oh, is that so? Why is
they're
that?
Pretty good. I mean,
Pretty good.
Well, I mean, you're allowed to follow, like if you're involved in drifting and it's like these are the regular girls. Like they've been here all season and they're at every round. So that they do post up sort of the drift-related stuff.
Some of the inside stuff that normal people wouldn't have access to.
Well, also they're cute Japanese girls, so
okay. All right then.
And they usually hang around with each other as well, so it's Okay,
we got some serious faces. Not so much from Yakoy though. He just looks like he's just relaxed. Just another day.
Yep, another podium. Oh man, I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Because they've been up since like 5 a.m. all these guys. All right,
let's see. Okay, there's third place.
So in third position, car number 100, the previous year's championship winner, Andrew Gray, in third place.
And now going on to the winner.
And in first place today at round 3 of Formula Drift Japan, is and in first place today, Shinji Minoa in the Team Boss Potenza sponsored Z34 Fair Lady Z. And of course in second place, Masashi Yakoy, it's the wrong graphic there, Masashi Yakoy D-Max sponsored S15 Sylvia, there's the right graphic. So great podium here today, a lot of skill from all these guys being displayed here. Great final.
Yeah, Shinji went straight from being the first place qualifier to first place on top of the podium.
Damn, you're right. That's a
he's
good
won every battle.
That's got to be his best weekend ever.
Absolutely.
First, and taking nothing away from it. The field of drivers he was up against, as you can see in the back, next, flanked by Andrew Gray and Masashi Yakoy.
He doesn't look too happy, though.
I think it's the adrenaline is just wearing off right now.
It's a great weekend for the Minoa family, though. Masayo, his wife, qualified 12th.
That's right.
Going into the top 32.
So a great result for Masayo there. So how long do we have to wait until we see his son out here?
Hero, he's only 7 years old. I mean, give him a few more years, and I'm sure he'll be.
Give him a bit less than a decade, I'd say. Wait until he's in high school. He'll probably be out there as well. So great result for Shinji Minoa this weekend.
Doesn't look
Crack a smile, come on. He's tight.
That's typical Shinji style.
That is typical Shinji. He's quite.
There he is.
There's
that smile.
He's quite like that anytime. Even when he laughs, he's always very self-conscious about it. He'll sort of stifle his own laugh. Right. He's that kind of guy.
Yeah, I would love to see all three of these drivers stateside. I know we've seen Andy Gray and Yakoy stateside, but if we can get Shinji, bring his package, his drift team with him, I think he can provide us with some good drifting amongst us US drivers.
It's all about the logistics and cash. That's what it's about.
Yeah, so someone give him a car.
Someone give this guy a car. As you can see here today, the level of skill he's showing, I mean, that's not his car. That's a car built by a workshop, I believe the Boss workshop. So Shinji showing that he can drive a car that he didn't build to that kind of level. Of course, Masashi Yakoy campaigning a 2JZ powered S15 for quite a while now, showing a high level of skill.
Yep, and then we got Andy Gray in his signature red, white, and gray power vehicles. JZX 100 Chaser.
So, of course, Andy Gray, his signature car as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings to an end the live stream here of Formula Drift Japan Round 3 from Fuji Speedway. As you can see, luckily it didn't rain too much. Just right at the end, it made things a little bit of a spice on the end. Interesting results in those last battles. As you can see there. So we'll be leaving it there, I think. So once again, thank you very much for joining us here on the live stream, wherever you're watching from all around the world. If it's first thing in the morning where you are, you can go to bed now.